Mark Rogers TV on college football. And before we talk about the Buckeyes, if you're interested in selling for Mark Rogers TV, please contact me at the information you see on your screen below. All right, we've made it through the offseason in Columbus, and maybe the biggest buzz we have ever seen in the offseason concerning a position battle. Cardale Jones is the man for now. Urban Meyer has made his choice, again, for now, because the Buckeyes have a decent backup in J.T. Barrett. Braxton Miller, because of his shoulder injury and also because of his projected NFL status as a wide receiver, moves to that position. So it was kind of strange entering the Virginia Tech game that Braxton Miller, the most decorated player on the field as two-time Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year and Heisman Trophy candidate, really had the most question marks surrounding him because of the position change. And he basically answered all the questions. Despite only touching the football 8 times and catching 2 passes, I think he answered the questions. The out-and-up move that burned the Virginia Tech cornerback for the touchdown, that was brilliant. The first catch of the night, first catch of his collegiate career as a wide receiver, going across the middle, laying out with a beautiful hands catch, that was great. He ran it 6 times for 62 yards, and most notably that B-button move that made the Hokies look silly, and he took it on in for the touchdown. Miller accounted for like 155 yards and, again, 2 touchdowns. So he's good to go. He's a playmaker. He's just a freakish athlete that needs to touch the football. And, of course, he's going to be a threat throwing it downfield as well. Then you've got Michael Thomas. Now, Miller gets the acclaim, he gets the attention, but Michael Thomas gets the attention of defenses because he's the most NFL-ready wide receiver, maybe in college football. According to Todd McShay, Thomas edges Laquan Treadwell of Ole Miss as the most NFL-ready wide receiver in college football. He led the Buckeyes in receptions last year with 54, 800 yards, and 9 touchdowns, and he made a great move himself on another future NFL player and first-round pick to be most likely Kendall Fuller. So you've got Michael Thomas as well. Then you've got Curtis Samuel, who is such a versatile player that despite being the primary backup for Ezekiel Elliott last season, carrying the football for almost 400 yards at 6.6 yards per clip and 6 touchdowns, he's basically going to be used more as an H-back slot guy, getting downfield, and we saw him score the Buckeyes' first touchdown of 2015 where he was engaged and interfered with and still broke free from the DB and made a great catch in the end zone to put the Buckeyes up 7-0. So Samuel's got to get into the mix, and Urban Meyer said one of the reasons why he's being moved out of the backfield as a primary ball carrier is because this kid is too good to keep off the field. So consider all that. That would be enough. They rang up 572 total yards against what is expected to be one of the 10 or 15 best defenses in college football and 42 points, despite turnovers on offense and special teams. Then on top of that, they were missing playmakers suspended for 1 game. Dontre Wilson, the Texas product who hit the program in 2013 that Urban Meyer and other recruiting analysts saw as a Percy Harvin type, hasn't, despite his flashes of brilliance, great speed, quickness, not special. He hasn't been special. Can't compare him to Percy Harvin. He hasn't separated himself like that, but he is still a threat in the return game as a runner and as a pass catcher. So we're going to see him now in week 2 against Hawaii. Then we also have Jalen Marshall, who burst onto the scene as a freshman and really helped the Buckeyes as a return specialist. And if you saw the Indiana game, he may have saved the season with some huge punt returns and one for a touchdown when the Buckeyes were clawing their way by the Hoosiers in the 4th quarter. Jalen Marshall caught 38 as the freshman and 6 touchdowns as well. And Buckeye fans expected to see him more in the lineup on offense in 2015. Then you also have Corey Smith, the Akron native, who caught 20 passes last year for 255 yards and was one player that Urban Meyer said developed as much as anybody on the team last season during the course of the regular season. He really improved, and he got some touches in meaningful action late last season as well. So you got to work those 3 guys into the mix in addition to what you already have. So how can we keep all these Buckeyes happy? That is going to be up to Urban Meyer to determine. And then on top of that, Nick Vanette is one of the best tight ends in college football. Don't let the numbers fool you. He only caught one pass at Virginia Tech. He only caught 19 for 5 touchdowns last year, but this is one of the reasons why we're producing this video, is talking about all the weapons Ohio State has. Otherwise, Vanette in other offenses would be a 40 or 45 catch tight end like we see. So the Buckeyes will start to sort it out and try to distribute the football to everyone, and it'll be more interesting to see, especially down the road against Michigan State and Michigan, and if they play some close games against some other teams like possibly Penn State, Rutgers, and Minnesota, who are going to be the players that get the football when it means most. You would think Miller, you would think Thomas especially, but they're also going to draw the attention of the defense more than the other guys. Would love to hear what you have to say about the Buckeyes playmakers right here on Mark Rogers TV.